Mama of Mandy. Yes, that one is ours to keep for a while. I went above and beyond to make her feel like she was a part of the Big Bang Theory, which has long demonstrated that George Srdef had a big impact on Sheldon, but Young Sheldon Season 6 Episode 13 made it clear that Georgie must have been very sad as well because George's impending death overshadowed a sweet moment. Srdef George. Even though the Big Bang Theory prequel spin-off consistently demonstrated that it was kinder and more understanding in its depiction of the Cooper patriarch than the parent series, slightly departing from what TBT established, S is unchangeable because it will fundamentally alter the Coopers' lives when it occurs. However, there is a possibility that George's impending death will overshadow all of his connections as the occasion approaches. The rest of the Cooper family's reaction to George's tragic passing was never fully explored, but Sheldon's reaction was always made clear on the Big Bang Theory. Even though TBBT may have merely used him to share Georgie's bullying of Sheldon, young Sheldon's focus on family meant that the dynamics of the Cooper family would have been just as important to the program as the relationships of every character with Sheldon. Because of this, young Sheldon is especially well-suited to foretell George's death by having George list all the things he wants to do in the future, but can't because viewers know he can't. Despite the fact that doing so imparts a bittersweet quality to George's relationships with his children. Because Missy lied about where she was, George and Georgie were able to talk about their child with Mandy. Their conversation was amusing due to Georgie's hasty comments about George's parenting and George's jabs at Georgie's overconfidence regarding motherhood. However, George's casual comment that "I simply can't wait till you're a dad" quickly turned the conversation dark. What started out as a light-hearted observation to George and Georgie about Georgie's abilities and the challenges he faces turned into a reminder to viewers that George won't be able to watch Georgie raise her children. Because George is so close to death, he will definitely see Georgie with his newborn daughter in Young Sheldon, but he won't like watching Georgie deal with the challenges of parenting a teenager. Even though the insignificant things Mary, Missy, Sheldon, and especially Georgie would have to deal with following George's death are insignificant in comparison, the harmless conversation gives young Sheldon the opportunity to emphasize the insignificant things that will be lost when George passes away. George's death will cause the Cooper family a great deal of grief, but they will also miss out on little pleasures and everyday luxuries because George won't be around to mock them. Young Sheldon's saddens Georgie as well. Georgie's perspective on what transpired following George's death in the Big Bang Theory Season 11. Episode 23 highlighted how difficult that time was for Georgie because he had to care for Mary and Missy while Sheldon was away, attempting to be stronger for everyone. However, George's impending death will have an impact on Georgie's emotions and experiences, which he will not be able to share. George will lose George's support and assistance in raising his and Mandy's child in Young Sheldon, in addition to taking on the role of home leader and taking care of everyone else. George was already portrayed as a loving father by young Sheldon. As a result, if given the chance, he would have been there to help Georgie through the difficulties of parenting. In Young Sheldon Season 6, Episode 13, George and Georgie talked about how George's death will be difficult for Georgie because of her growing responsibilities, but it will also leave him without a supportive and helpful father. The reveal makes Georgie's Big Bang Theory plot even more depressing and his young Sheldon future even more devastating due to the significance of George's death. I appreciate your attention. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment.